Hello everybody, welcome to Bitcoin Not Crypto. You can find me on X and Nostr at Forest Total, and if you wanted to book a one-on-one Bitcoin consult with me to help you with any of your Bitcoin needs, you can do so through the third link in my description. Now in this video, I wanted to just talk about something very simple and something that is intuitive when you've been in Bitcoin for a while and looked at some of the charts, but I'm just going to bring up this tweet here that is incredibly interesting, even with its simplicity. This is from Bitcoin Isaiah. Just the other day, we hit block 888,888, and the amount of Bitcoin you got for it was, or the miner got for it was 3.269 Bitcoin, which is valued at US dollars of $275,259. We can see with these repeating number blocks that are hit, basically 100 and the ones I should just say, we got the person that mined that got 50 BTC, and that was only worth $45. And the next ones kind of start to begin to happen after some of the halvings. So the twos, 25.583, and the threes, 25.036. And you can see a massive jump in value even with the decline of Bitcoin. This is really important, right? It's not just that Bitcoin's value is going up, it's that you need less Bitcoin to have the same amount of value. So even with 100,000 blocks down more, if you had the same amount of block reward, right? If there was 50, this would be $1,200, which would have been just so much more than the value of $45. So this is just another way to look at this number go up technology. Bitcoin's price is constantly going up, and even though there's less Bitcoin getting rewarded, we can see a trend here where the price, the value in exchange for the Bitcoin is going up in numbers. We can see one difference here from the block sixes to the block sevens. We can actually see the value is higher in the sixes. The amount of Bitcoin is only 0.3 Bitcoin higher, so it's nominally different, just barely, but the dollar amount is much higher. So this is another thing of just the cycles, right? We can see massive amounts of height in the fiat denominated price, and it can retrace. It's been almost a clean sweep, however, besides this one outlier of Bitcoin's price in dollar terms going up every single time we're basically hitting another 100,000 or so blocks. And this is going to just continue on. I mean, you can see here, this is quite amazing. From the sevens to the eights, they're getting half as much Bitcoin, and the value is almost double in US dollar terms. And this is going to just continue to happen. A lot of people are worried, okay, what's going to happen when the next halving happens and there's less incentive to mine, right? These miners will be not profitable because they're getting half as much Bitcoin. It becomes more difficult to be profitable as a miner. But we've seen after this halving, the profits continue to go up because that's baked into how Bitcoin works. The number has to go up if everything else is staying equal, and everything else is not staying equal. We're in an adoption cycle. So not only does the number have to go up because the miners aren't able to sell at a loss, they have to sell at profit, so that they have to hold and they have to wait until the number goes up before they can sell and continue to operate. But we're also in an adoption cycle where there's more demand meeting the same amount of supply, or actually less supply. Every roughly 4 years, there is less supply of Bitcoin. So the number is the only thing that can fluctuate, and the number has to go up to meet the steady demand or the increased demand. So it's baked into it. And this was just a really cool representation, I thought, of how even with less Bitcoin being rewarded to the miners, the value continues to go up. This is this is up and to the right. Yes, there was that blip there, and it's not up and to the right steadily. It's up and to the right and fluctuates like crazy because of the size of the asset and because of people's misvaluation of this asset. So this is just another reminder to hold on for a long time, right? It was a long time ago that the block reward was 50 and that 50 Bitcoin was worth $45. Think about what 50 Bitcoin is worth today. Think about what 3.269 Bitcoin will be worth in another few 100,000 blocks from now, right? This is baked in as far as I'm concerned. If you can hold on, weather the volatility. I think the block 6s is a good representation of the volatility here, and the block 7s as well in contrast, because you can see the volatility went way up and then it went down, right? So 100 blocks later, that same amount of Bitcoin was worth less. So you cannot just wait and a little bit to really get the value out of Bitcoin. You're going to want to wait a long time, because this is how the system works, and there's a lot of volatility in the short term. But if you zoom out, it's up and to the right, and the Bitcoin holders will be rewarded for transferring their value over to this new monetary system that in all ways is much better. It's better ethically. It's better for yourself as an individual if you're an early adopter, and even if you're a late adopter. If you're adopting it at all, it's going to be a better system, because you cannot be debased by somebody that controls the money supply. The money supply is fixed. This is the issuance of the money supply. We know that every 10 minutes, 3.125 block reward is being issued. That's the new Bitcoin going into circulation. And we know that in roughly 4 years, that will get halved, right? So there will be a supply shock every single time because there's less Bitcoin coming out. Yes, it might affect the cycle a little bit different and all of that. That's up for debate. But we know that the price has to go up because it's designed to do so. It's the only variable in the system. It's the biggest variable in the system, and the price is factored in and built to go up in this asset. So if you guys want to get yourself some Bitcoin, I would recommend checking out the Bitcoin Well. It's where I buy all my Bitcoin. They're a non-custodial exchange, which means that when you send them dollars, they send you Bitcoin directly. You don't open yourself up to counterparty risk. They have non-KYC options available in Canada. They're available in the States as well. And if you use my code, you'll get some free Bitcoin on sign up. If you want to preserve your seed phrase for generations to come, I recommend checking out Stampseed and using my code BTC not crypto 15 to get 15% off of their titanium stamp kit, which is just an absolute great product in my opinion. So thanks everybody for watching, and we'll see you on the next episode of Bitcoin Not Crypto.